Why, hello, everybody. My name's Dave. I am a student information specialist at McMaster Continuing Education. I've got lots to get through today, so I'm gonna get started. Um, Quick land acknowledgement here that McMaster University recognizes and acknowledges that it is located on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations, and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Let's get into it. Here is a overview of the programs we're going to be talking about today. Data analytics, data science, and big data programming and architecture are kind of like three levels of the more or less the same subject. So we'll talk about that. And we're going to be talking about a new program called Applied AI for Industries. A lot of people in our previous information sessions that we've done have come in asking us about like what's the deal with AI, can you help prepare me for an AI world? And yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit with this program. So if you're interested in that, you've come to the right place. And we are going to be talking about open source intelligence program as well, our data governance program, and our full stack development program. Okay, so let's jump into it. Lots to cover. Data analytics. So this program is about, applying, as it says on the slide here, applying statistical methods for the analysis of data sets, collecting, analyzing, interpreting, sharing data, identifying relationships in data, how to select and employ problem-solving techniques, source standard and web-based tools to test analytical solutions, employing data models in business intelligence, so that BI thing you may have heard of, and data analysis case studies. So if you're interested in this, you probably have a rough idea of the kind of stuff that you're interested in learning. And so you probably, yeah, have an idea of what you're looking for. Like I said a moment ago, the way that these programs kind of work is that we have data analytics, data science, and big data programming and architecture, and that they are more or less map onto being like a beginner, intermediate, and advanced level of being sort of in that data expertise. Okay, if you're a beginner to this field and you're thinking like, I want to get into this, I want to, start from the ground up, data analytics courses are the ones you want to look at. So for this program, what we offer is so you can get a certificate in data analytics, which is just completing 5 courses of your choice from the selection that we offer. If you want to do something a little bit shorter, you can get a certificate of professional learning, and that's just a 3-course program. So yeah, by completing just 3 courses, if you want to, you can get a credential, put on your resume, a certificate of professional learning. If you're looking to go a little bit further, learn a little bit more, deepen your knowledge a little bit further, you can take the longer program, the certificate in data analytics. That's 5 courses. Now here it says online/virtual classroom formats, and I'm going to take a quick little detour here to explain what that means, okay? Every program we offer is in one of 3 learning formats, and I'm going right out of my PowerPoint here to show you something for a second on our website, okay? These are the 3 learning formats that we offer. Most of our courses are offered in this middle one here that I'm showing you. It's the online learning format. In the data program, we actually have, there's just 1 course, I believe, that is offered in the online format, and the others are offered in the virtual classroom format. But basically what this means is the online format is asynchronous. It means that there is no class times that you have to, there's no specific time that you have to be there, that you have to show up. You log in, it says, hey, there's an assignment due on, for example, Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., and you have to make sure you submit it by then. You take part in discussion groups. You work on various interactive things with your classmates, with your instructor. But it is done in an asynchronous way, so no specific times. Virtual classroom, which is the format that most of the data courses are in, is, well, it's what it sounds like. And as you can see in the picture there, it's showing up to a Zoom class at a certain time. You're expected to be there. The courses are recorded for later viewing, but you are expected to show up. Some courses have participation marks going on for when you're there. So yeah, so basically, if you're gonna be taking data classes, remember, keep in mind that most of them are virtual classroom, and that means that you do need to be there at the scheduled time. So I just wanted to go over that because you're going to see references to these various learning formats. I'll also just mention that's not relevant for data courses, but online self-study is another learning format that we offer, which is very similar to online, but just offers a little bit more flexibility. But just to clarify, you do have to take the courses in the learning format that they are offered in, so you'll see that when you are looking at the course on our website and preparing to add it to your cart, preparing to enroll it, they all have one of these labels on them: online, virtual classroom, or whatever. So you take it in what it's offered in, just to make sure you understand that. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the PowerPoint now, and I'll go catch up to where we were. Okay. So here's some data analytics industry highlights. I'm not going to go through every bullet on this slide, but you can see, like, here are some of the top skills. Again, if this is an area that you're interested in, you probably, these are probably making your eyes light up and going, yes, that's a thing I want to learn, or that's a thing I'm interested in, or whatever, right? Here are some top job titles in the field. We've got this note here that says data analysts, data scientists, and AI-related roles are explicitly part of the talent pool being prioritized by government agencies, according to some recent research we did or recently pulled that info from Stats Canada. So yeah, this is definitely an area that is big right now. And I know there's lots of talk about, like, the job market lately and stuff. So if that is something that you're concerned with, well, this is a good area to be looking into. Okay, and that's going to go for these next two program categories as well. So data science, it's the same kind of stuff. It's just it gets a little bit more advanced. Okay, so yeah, you can take a look here and see the kind of stuff that it's saying: problem-solving techniques and software tools to test analytical solutions, common industry software tools, how to identify, test, and evaluate model structures to solve a business problem. So the way this program actually breaks down, it breaks down the same way as the data analytics course. So as it says here, you can take 3 courses to get the certificate of professional learning in data science, or you can do 2 more courses and complete a full certificate in data science. I will mention as well that for each of these programs, we offer more than 5, like, there are more than 5 courses even to choose from. So you can take any of the 5 courses or any of the 3 courses, whatever it is you're doing, to get the credential that you're going for. But you're also welcome to continue taking more courses after that if you want to, just for their own sake. But it's just to understand that this is the limit of what we offer in terms of in terms of, like, a credential for data science. So a lot of people will often ask me, Dave, can I ladder this into can I do my certificate and then build it into a diploma, or can I build it into a degree or something? I bet, I haven't looked at the chat, but I bet there's somebody at least wondering that. So I will quickly say that this is the total of what we at Continuing Education offer for these subjects. Continuing Education, in case you didn't know, is a separate business unit from the main university. So we're under the big McMaster umbrella, but we offer our own bespoke courses and programs, okay, exclusive to us. So we don't offer a diploma or a higher level credential in these formats, but you can certainly take this and carry it forward yourself and look at the main McMaster University or look at another school that is offering, say, like a diploma or a degree in a related subject, and use these courses as transfer credits, because these data courses that we're discussing at least are worth full academic credit. They are worth like equivalent credit to a standard undergraduate course. So it's a one-to-one transfer that you can do into a degree program, for example. So again, some of the top skills in data science are, computer science, big data, Python, SQL, et cetera, et cetera. I'll let you read the list here. Um, and some more Stats Canada info here, that they've set up a data science division, and Stats Canada is actively recruiting data scientists, recruiting a data science fellowship program, which signals increasing institutional capacity slash demand. So yeah, so here's a quote that we got from a recent graduate of this program. Sean said, I was recently accepted in a BSc in data science and business analytics. The work completed at MCE played a part in obtaining that acceptance. I would highly recommend the value of content at McMaster and the overall education. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, so that is there's some feedback. And continuing on then to big data programming and architecture. Again, this is kind of the most advanced level courses that we offer in this category. So it's how to implement cloud computing concepts, how to build a variety of IT infrastructure on the cloud, proposing and refining analytical solutions to business programs, collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and sharing data, as well as identifying relationships in data, and working with open source and scalable database tools. The way this program works out is, again, it's the same sort of options as the previous ones. So you can take a three course credential or a 5-course credential. I won't go through explaining that again. I think folks get it by now, but yeah, that's what it is. They're all in virtual classroom format, to the best of my knowledge. I don't believe any of them are in the online format. So these ones will be all virtual classroom. So that's the synchronous lectures that you show up to at a given time. So yeah, moving on to this slide, same sorts of skills. Obviously, top job titles in this field are going to be sort of people in kind of more senior roles compared to the other two. And that's the data programs. So moving on to applied AI for industries. Ooh, it's the hot topic right now, right? So this is what this program is that we've come up with. What you'll learn in this program is to build in-demand skills in creative AI application development, healthcare solutions, and retail optimization. It's how to develop hands-on projects using tools like Azure OpenAI. You'll learn from industry experts and explore responsible, ethical AI practices, and you'll gain insights through real-world case studies and applications. So this program was designed in partnership with M2M Tech, and it's a flexible online program that offers hands-on learning to help you lead innovation in today's very rapidly evolving digital landscape. As I'm sure all of you know, things with tech, things with tech always move very quickly. Particularly things with AI are moving quickly. So this is a cutting edge program that's going to really give you the edge for learning some of those skills with legitimate backing behind them, like not just learning it off of some forum or something, right? But getting some industry experts who have figured out some best practices to really put behind what you're saying, right? So that's an interesting one to check out. And if you check the tech and data section on our website, you'll be able to go and look at more details of what like how that program breaks down. Okay. So I'm going to move on now to talking about open source intelligence. So basically with this, I'm going to describe this one kind of in my own words. If you don't know what open source intelligence is, OSI, it's basically using publicly available databases and other sources of information to do like very efficient data gathering and research, and then pulling insights out of that. So it's often like the language that's used around OSI is often sort of referred to as being kind of a like a I don't know, like used in like espionage and like spy stuff and whatnot. And that's absolutely true. It has its applications there for sure. But it's also applicable to a lot of different fields. In a past life, I worked in a journalism background, and I know for a fact that these skills are useful to journalists because they can use it to gather information and turn out stories that are, basically interesting stories that are kind of hidden in plain sight, right? With public archives, with just information that is difficult for a human being normally to sift through, but with the right tools, with the right skills and knowledge, you can turn stuff out. So that's basically, and there's lots of industries that this applies to, right? You could be working in lots of different industries and maybe wanting to do some oppositional research or whatever on your competitors, your business competitors, and you can use these skills to be doing that sort of thing. So it really has a lot of applications, although it may not be, it's one of those things that you may not find a lot of job postings that say like we're looking for an OSINT like professional per se, but it's something that you can really like you can put on your resume and say, guess what? Like I know stuff about this and I could do this work for you. And that's like a huge like, that's some big brownie points for your resume. That's a really, interesting and helpful skill that not a lot of people have. So, just to give you some brass tacks of how this breaks down, they're a mix of online self-study. So online self-study is that like very flexible, asynchronous format that I mentioned. So it's a mix of that and virtual, classroom courses. So the ones you show up to. And for this program, there's four courses and you just have to complete all four of them. That's it. When you finish those four courses, you earn a certificate of completion, which is given to you in the form of a micro credential, which is a digital it's a digital credential that is like a blockchain secured credential that can go on your resume, your LinkedIn, your personal website, et cetera, et cetera. So the courses we just have them listed out here, Tradecraft and Operations, Python for basic collection, Python for advanced collection, data mining and analysis essentials. So yeah, if anything, piques your interest there, I'd say definitely look into that one because it's applicable to a lot of areas and it's skills that a lot of are relatively rare in the professional world. So um, top skills for that: open source intelligence, web scraping, SQL, Python, computer science generally, data analysis, cybersecurity. And once again, you can see those top job titles because not a lot of job postings will necessarily mention this. But so they're based around sort of like the threat intelligence, the fraud and stuff like that, right? But really like any company that can benefit from somebody doing research can potentially benefit from this. So, all right, let's move on to talk about data governance. So, um, this program is basically where our other programs that have data in the title are they're more technically inclined, right? They are about, learning specific hard skills to do like hands-on technical stuff with data. This program leans less technical and is more about coming up with good policy to govern how data is used, how it works in your organization or like in a project or whatever. Okay. So this is about, I like this. I feel like this second bullet point on this slide really nails it. key elements for robust data governance framework, including data stewardship, ownership, and data governance councils. This teaches you best practices that help streamline the development and implementation of a data strategy. And it's also about like just, that data stewardship point there. There's a lot of, concerns, I think rightly so nowadays about like, oh, privacy and like making sure that, data isn't misused, it isn't, handled, it isn't mishandled, it isn't, that it's, set up securely and things like that. So this program is about becoming knowledgeable about these kinds of things and then being able to guide your company towards good handling of data. So especially if you're finding that your company is upscaling in how much it is dealing with, like, say, customer data or other kinds of data that especially that is like sensitive, then this may be, and if you're going to be one of the go-to people for setting up this system, or you want to be, then this may be a great program for you. So it's again with this program similar to the OSINT one. It's 4 courses, and you have to complete all 4 of them. You get a certificate of completion in data governance that is delivered as a micro credential. Oh, and a special thing that I want to mention for this program, and I want to really emphasize here that this is only the case for this course, okay? For this course only, you actually get a micro credential for each course that you complete in the program. So if you complete the first course, Foundations of Data Governance, you get a micro credential in Foundations of Data Governance, and so on. The same for all 4 of them. And when you complete the 4th, you get a micro credential for finishing the whole thing, and that is a certificate of completion in data governance. Okay, this is the only this is the only program that works that way. It's the only one where you can get a credential for each individual course, as well as for completion of all 4. Okay. So that's a neat perk of this one. Now, again, here's a list of some of the top skills, top job titles, as you would expect. I'll give folks a moment to just sort of read these over real quick. I won't go through all of them, but as you would expect, I mean, this obviously touches on a lot of areas, right? And I'm gonna tell you, like, I've known somebody personally who worked in sort of policy, policy writing for government, and man, that's a great job if you can get it. So yeah, definitely, it's definitely a great area to get into, and obviously very important, right? So if that is at all of interest to you, then bookmark this one. Check it out. You can find this in our tech and data program section on our website. Okay, so full stack development. So this program is about learning basically from front to back of the whole web/app development process. So full stack development is basically, it's got these 3 sections. Okay, so it's 3 courses each in UI, UI/UX, front end development, and back end development. And those are basically, if I was to kind of really simplify them, it's here. Let's just go to the next slide. It's 3 courses in. Actually, I'm gonna go right to the website and show you, because that's gonna be easier. Full stack development. Let's look at it here. By the way, I'm going to take this chance to let people know that this is, you'll see some courses on our website that are grayed out. They have these grayed out boxes like this. And sometimes people ask us, like, what, it says it's not currently available. Oh no. Well, that just means that you can't enroll in it right now, because it's just not available to enroll right this moment. But if you check the if you each program page has a schedule tab. If you check the schedule tab, you'll see that some courses that perhaps you can enroll in right now, like this UXI 101, for example, it's not running in the winter term, but it is going to be running in the spring summer term of 2026. So, if you're looking to take that course, you'll be able to take it then. And so just keep that in mind. Just because something's not available right now doesn't mean that it's like canceled or anything like that. Okay. So the way this program works is it's split into these three sections. And I'm actually going to emphasize this by going to the certificates tab, because the way this program works is unlike the other one I was talking about where you can get a credential per course, this one you can't get a credential per course, but what you can do is you can earn a certificate of professional learning in each of the three areas. So you can get a certificate of professional learning in user experience and user interface design by taking these three courses here. So CCD, design thinking, UX, UI applications, and the design team. Okay. You take those three courses, you get that certificate of professional learning. Same with front end development. If you take these three courses, same with back end development. If you just want to take these three courses. And if you want to do the whole program and earn the diploma, you can do all 9 courses, but you can also do it where you earn the certificates of professional learning and the diploma. So you can end up getting four credentials in total for 9 courses in total, which is pretty awesome. This setup is also unique to this program. So, because most programs don't allow you to do this, but just because of the unique setup of this one, you can. So you get 4 credentials out of it. In case I didn't go over this clearly enough, UX UI is just it's the interface side of it. Sorry, it's the interface side of it, and then the front end side is like sort of programming the stuff that you see in a website or in an app, and the back end development is developing the stuff that you don't see. So as I was just explaining here. The certificates that you can get, they're 3 courses each, and if you want to do all 9 courses, you can get the diploma. You can get the 4 credentials from this program if you want to. Okay. So here's a quote from Mariana, who said, the courses offered are invaluable and are taught by the best of the best. Completing courses at McMaster Continuing Education will only put one at an advantage when it comes to obtaining and retaining a job. Yes, awesome. Yeah, and demand for full stack developers is projected to increase overall from 2021 to 2031, which is also yeah, as one would expect, right? So again, here's a list of the sort of the top skills. So if these sort of keywords jump out at you as something that you've been wanting to learn, as something that as maybe something you've heard around the office, as something that you need more skills in, or that more knowledge is needed in this area, well, then maybe this is something you should be looking into. As you can see, in terms of job titles, UX people, there's just a lot of demand for UX, but I can assure you there is demand for the other areas as well. It just so happens to show they're sort of coming up in the top, at the top of the ladder there for search results. So here are some more tech and data programs listed that we're not covering today, but you can find these and more if you look at our website. So there's health analytics, there's privacy management, corporate training. We have partnerships with a couple of third-party course providers called Ed2Go and YouGotClass, who offer like a wide variety of some really specific stuff. Like you can go and take like a specifically an SQL course or something like that. You can we have courses in becoming a certified AWS developer, and certified AWS system SysOps administrator, and as well as the I guess they call that SQL, don't they? SQL and Power BI. Yeah. So there's a lot of different options, like I mentioned, especially if you're looking through our third party partnerships, which you'll see if you keep scrolling down on the tech and data programs page. I also want to quickly touch on our Essentials program. So, Essentials are basically, they are not necessarily tech. In fact, I don't think too many of them are really tech focused the way the other courses that we've been talking about. But if you're looking for some quick courses that you can take over the course of a few days that are just to get a little extra edge on your resume, something that's like sort of low commitment, low time requirements, or that you can do that you can knock out pretty quickly. These may be of interest to you. You can just build some essential skills in communication, business, innovation, leadership, productivity, working with a team, that kind of stuff. We have courses on some more soft skills in this category, like handling difficult people, how to get better at active listening, how to get better at clear and confident communication, how to manage a difficult workload. Like these types of things are the kind of stuff that we often cover in essentials courses, and a lot of people find them really helpful. These are courses you'll find that take course of. It's the kind of thing where you join it for maybe a few hours one day, a couple hours, another day, etc. And they're kind of varying lengths, but the longest I think is around 3 days or so. So they're pretty accessible for that. So it's something that you may be interested in. I also want to let people know that we do offer corporate and professional training. So this is if you have a specific need at your organization that is not exactly covered by what we're offering, and or if you're thinking, oh, that is pretty good coverage, but I want to register like a whole bunch of people. Get in touch with us because this is something we can do. We can customize. We can create a bespoke program for you based on what your needs are, and we particularly, we like to do that in areas where we already have some, existing expertise, so we can pull from that. But we can, talk to us if your thing is just kind of out of left field and is not something that you've seen us talk about at all. Message us anyways, and we'll talk. We'll see what we can do, right? But so yeah, just want to let people know that is a thing that we do offer. And and just to give people a little, I mentioned earlier what micro credentials are, but I just want to reiterate that what those are is just like a digital badge that you get. So basically, what it means is that you still are getting in many cases at least, you are still getting a traditional credential, or the credential that you've earned is something like a certificate of completion, or whatever, but the format that it's delivered in is in this blockchain badge that you can embed it on your resume, on your website, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how it works. They're actually really handy things because I think they're very helpful to employers because you can basically drill down, like click, explore further into it and see, oh, okay, like here's the exact specific things that this person has completed, and they can see in quite granular detail like what you have actually learned. So that can be quite helpful, to in order to be able to see, like, well, just what is a certificate of completion in blah blah blah, right? Well, they can sort of click and see more. So that's what makes micro credentials appealing and interesting. So I've mentioned in a bunch of cases today, you earn a micro credential for this, that. So like that's what I'm talking about, okay? And that's what that entails. I want to let people know, a lot of people come and asking us about OSAP, of course, right? The provincial student loans, right? Our program, we can't accept student loans for so our OSAP or any provincial student loans, or like the equivalent of that from other provinces. for any of the stuff that we've discussed here today, except for essentials courses. Okay. But we do have these other options. So what you're looking at on screen here is just sort of a summary of a lot of the financial options that we have. One of the things that's most common is the MAPS bursary. Okay, so what that is the MAPS is the McMaster Association of Part-Time Students, and what this is basically you're going to go on the website and you're going to see it's got this long name that says bursary for part-time students slash award for continuing education. If you are going to be taking continuing education courses, then that's your opening into potentially being eligible for that funding. This option is also the most like OSAP. So if you were kind of thinking in terms of OSAP, this is the most like that because in the way that they look at your financial eligibility. I'm not to say it's identical or anything, but it's like a similar idea. And the way that one works is you do have to become a student with us first before you can apply for it. So you do have to pay for one course out of pocket. And then what happens is if you get approved for this funding, then they usually do retroactively reimburse the course you've already taken and then perhaps further courses going forward. But that's one to look into. If you were thinking you might be eligible for OSAP funding, and I just threw a wrench in your plan by saying we don't accept OSAP, check this one out, because there's funding there to be claimed. So and you may be eligible. Okay. So other options, I'm not going to spend as much time talking about them, but just to give you like an overview, there's Canadian/Ontario government funded job training programs like Better Jobs Ontario and the Canada-Ontario Job Grant, which is typically something that an employer requests, but you can kind of work that out with your employer if they don't know about it. So those are things to look into. Windmill microlending is targeted at skilled immigrants and refugees. So we hear from a lot of people who have come to Canada and they are looking to get their education, caught up to, recognized so that they can work in their field. And maybe they need something towards that, or maybe they are looking to pivot in a different direction or do something else in the meantime. So this is if that's a situation that you resonate with, that sounds like you at all, check in with Windmill Microlending because they have funding to offer for folks in that scenario. And also, we encourage people to just ask their employers for any tuition assistance of the programs that may be available, or even if it's not a formal program, maybe they'll just say, "Hey, yeah, you know what? Like, we do want you to train up in that. That would be helpful, and we can, your employer's budget is probably more than yours personally, so so it makes sense, right? You never know, that might work out. And of course, you can pursue traditional, lines of credit, et cetera, through financial institutions. So that's our advice regarding finances. Now, you can find more information about this on our website, by the way. Those funding options, you can find links to those various links out to those various things with more info. So just go to that section on our webpage and you'll find more info. So I want to very quickly just talk about how to register. This is one of the most common questions we get. So our basic criteria, our expectations of students in our programs are basically that they have so unless stated otherwise, unless we kind of say like, hey, like in order to say for big data architecture, you should already have like an intermediate level of experience working in data, right? But unless stated otherwise, like in that case, then our expectation is that students have a high school education, and if you don't have a high school education, then in lieu of that, you can be a mature student, which just means that you've been out of school for a few years. And we also expect that people have proficiency in English. So basically, just you should have strong English skills. Again, let me think. Yeah, all of these programs that we've discussed today are open and they have open enrollment. So there's no application for anything that we've discussed here today. Okay. If you want to take these programs, go enroll in a course. Add the first course or multiple courses, whatever makes sense, to your shopping cart. Keep in mind, most courses require around 6 to 8 hours a week on average of work. So keep that in mind for your scheduling. But that's all you have to do. You just add one or more courses to your shopping cart. You proceed to checkout. It's going to prompt you to create an account if you're new. And that's all that's required. We don't ask you for documentation. You don't need to tell us about your student visa status. You don't need to show us your English proficiency test. We're just letting people know that this is something that you are going to need in order to be successful. So, you should have good, strong English skills in order to, not have a bad time in our courses. That's kind of the bottom line here. Yeah, some people get a little confused because they're like, hey, there has to be more than this, right? And the answer is no, there's really not more than that. You just register you register for the first course you want to take, and welcome to the program. You're a McMaster student now. It's that easy, folks. So, a few FAQs. So sort of the next follow-up to that is, okay, well, once I register, how do I begin? Well, you're going to get email instructions. So watch for emails once you've registered, and you'll see instructions on what to do next. Okay. And if you have any issue, just reach out to us. The contact form that I've shared and which my colleague has probably posted in the chat is where you can reach out and ask us questions if you have them. How do I apply/enroll? I just covered that. So what is the cost? Yeah, people ask this one a lot. So you've probably seen when I've been looking at programs here that you can see the prices listed right on the courses. For the vast majority of what we offer, there's no tax involved, and there are some courses that we talked about today that do require you to buy textbooks. Some do and some don't. I believe you may be able to find more information about this in the additional fees section of the schedule tab for programs. So that's something that you can look into. And again, if you're finding that if it's not clear or whatever, just reach out to us and we can help fill you in on that. So basically, that's usually what the cost looks like. It's just going to be the cost of the fees added up. Keep in mind, no tax, and that's vast majority of the time, maybe textbooks. That's pretty much what you're looking at. Okay. Duration totally depends on the program, but it's going to depend on what what the program is and what you can do, right? So looking at those OSINT courses, for example, there's 4 of them you have to take for the program. Hey, if you got the time, we won't stop you from enrolling in all of them at once or as many as we have available at a time, right? Now, you probably shouldn't do that because I just remembered one of them is like Python for basic collection and Python for advanced collection. So those are 2 that, you probably want to take one, and then the other. But the point being that it's kind of up to you to do what you want to do in terms of what you can handle, in terms of what you already know. It's something that, I would say, use your common sense first. And then if it's not totally clear what you should be doing, reach out to us and ask for a little more clarification. And I already went over why certain courses are showing as unavailable, so we won't cover that again. So I will let folks go, but thank you very much for joining us today. I will wrap it up, and again, reach out to us if you need anything else. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much.